doesn't have the money to purchase the goods and products that make our economy go and create jobs. So I think that if our goal is to create the millions and millions of jobs that we need, and if our goal is to make our country stronger internationally in a very tough global economy, I would much prefer, and I think most economists would agree with me, that a better way to do that, to create the millions of jobs we've got to create, is to invest heavily in our infrastructure. Now, the truth is, and I don't think anyone disputes this, the infrastructure in the United States is crumbling, and I'll go into more detail about that later. Got some very good information on it. But, you know, you don't have to be a civil engineer to know that. All you have to do is get in your car today and drive someplace. And in my state and all over this country, what you are going to see are roads that are in disrepair. You're going to see bridges that in some cases have actually been shut down. You're going to see water systems. I remember, Mr. President, I was in Rutland, Vermont, the second or third largest city in the state of Vermont. And the mayor there showed me a piece of pipe. It was very funny. It's an old pipe. And he said, you know, the engineer who helped develop this water system and laid this pipe, he went off, after he did this work for Rutland, he went off to fight in the war. And I knew there was a catch line coming. I said, well, what war was that? And he said it was the Civil War. So you're talking about water pipe being laid in Rutland, Vermont, and this is true all over the United States, laid in the Civil War. And the result is we lose an enormous amount of clean water every day through leaks, water pipes bursting every day, all over the United States of America. Well, we can put people to work improving our water system, our wastewater plants, very expensive proposition to develop good wastewater plants. I was a mayor, you were a governor. It is an expensive proposition. Roads, bridges. Furthermore, Mr. President, I don't have to tell anybody here, our rail system, which used to be the greatest rail system in the world, is now falling way behind every other major country on earth. In Vermont, as a result of the stimulus package, which did a whole lot of very good things in the state of Vermont, one of the things we're able to do is use $50 million of federal fund, private money, to make major repairs on one of our important railways in the state. But we remain far behind most other countries around the industrialized world. China is exploding in terms of the number of high-speed rail lines that they have. We have got to do better. Our airports need work. Our air controllers need to be updated in terms of the technology they use to make our flights safe. And the point here is that what most economists would tell you is, A, when you invest in infrastructure, you get a bigger bang for the buck, you create more jobs for your investment than in most instances giving a variety of tax breaks to the corporate world. And second of all, and not unimportantly, when you invest in infrastructure, you are improving the future of this country. You're making us more productive. It's not just creating jobs, it's creating jobs for a very specific purpose, which makes our nation more productive and efficient. And thirdly, let me tell you something, as a former mayor, infrastructure does not get better if you ignore it. You know, you could turn your back if you're a mayor or a governor on the roads and on the highways because you don't have the money to fix them today. They ain't going to get better next year. At some point, they're going to have to be repaired and fixed, and we may as well do that right now. So I believe that the money, the very substantial sums of money in this agreement between the president and the Republicans, which goes into tax breaks for corporate America, could be much better spent, more effectively spent on the infrastructure. Point I want to make in opposition to this agreement is that what we have heard from the president and others is that, look, this is a compromise. You can't get everything you want. Well, you can't get everything what you want around here. That's true. But one of the examples of the compromise is an extension of unemployment benefits for 13 months. Well, let me be very, very clear. In the midst of a serious and major recession, at a time when millions of our fellow Americans are not only out of work through no fault of their own, but they have been out of work for a very, very long time. It would be, in my view, immoral and wrong to turn our backs on those workers. Their unemployment benefits are going to be running out soon, and it is absolutely imperative that we extend those unemployment benefits for the 2 million workers who would lose them. But here's the point that I want to make, Mr. President. Some people say that this is a compromise. Well, the Republicans gave on unemployment, the President gave on extending tax breaks to the rich, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the point. I don't believe, honestly, that the Republican support now for extending unemployment benefits really constitutes much of a compromise. Because the truth of the matter is that for the past 40 years, under both Democratic and Republican administrations, under the leadership in the Senate and the House of Democrats or Republicans, it has been bipartisan policy that whenever the unemployment rate has been above 7.2%, unemployment insurance has always been extended. So what you have had is long-standing bipartisan policy. That's what we have always done. That is what we should be doing in the future. I do not regard that Republicans now supporting what their party has always supported, extending unemployment benefits when unemployment becomes very high. I don't see that as a compromise. I see that as what has been going on in this country and in the Senate for 4 decades. Now, Mr. President, I've talked about the negative aspects of this proposal, but I am going to be the first to admit that, of course, there are positive and good agreements in this. And what are they? What are some of the positive aspects of this agreement? Let me just tick them off. Number one, I believe very strongly, and I know the President does, that it is absolutely imperative that we extend middle-class tax cuts for 98% of the American people. I don't think there's been any debate about that. When median family income has gone down by over $2,000 during the Bush years, when millions of our people today are working longer hours for low wages, when people can't afford to send their kids to college or take care of childcare, I think it makes absolute sense. I don't think anyone denies that it is absolute.
Oh my God! So
Let's see.
thanks to Wall Street bets we have now raised. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you see the T-shirt though?
Okay, and I just got word from my producer. We're live. Wrong your. Okay, he just corrected it. Okay. So let's see. So we got team GG Golden Gamers and BCT. That's Blue Corn Tortilla. It's not behavior cognitive therapy or the other one, right?
Maybe it should be though.
Maybe it should be. So we got Arl into the mid lane against Lord Paleskin. What if so Arlen's been busting out a lot of control mages in the last couple of games. We've seen his Syndra, we've seen him pop on the Vel'Koz. I'm really interested to see if they prioritize. Arlen's proven that he can put on his carry pants when they need to. It's really excited to see if they draft around him this time.
I certainly think they need to ban the Vel'Koz if they want
Vel'Koz. If they want to have fun, you gotta ban the Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
Even if you win, it's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much work to deal with that Vel'Koz. Oh wait, you want us to do it? No, do it at midnight. Wait. People exchanging homework in the chat.
Seems like it. That's alright though, as long as the match is fair. Anything outside it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm just chewing pizza. Connor, how do you call it? The amount of fucking remote CK2 you've played, it feels like translatable skills as far as they go. Oh, so we got the pro draft. Let's dive in.
Mhm.
So both teams probably aren't ready quite yet, but the links are sent out, which means that draft will be underway and pretty shortly, probably by 9:20. So what are you looking out for here, Stu? What are the picks? We just talked about Arlen's Vel'Koz. Are there any other big picks that you're scared of, you're like excited for? Like, what are you thinking?
I definitely think they're going to have to watch out for Waffle's Thresh as well.
They've been first picking
Honestly,
it gets priority in their draft for sure. That's something that they have to deal.
yeah.
If they don't ban it, they're probably going to get it. So either if they don't have something prepared to deal with it, then yep, I see it. Okay, so banning phase is under process. Blue corn tortilla chips kicking us off. Let's see. So the big bans for BCT, they're probably looking to ban out Robert. Robert's junglers have been okay. So to start off with, Aphelios is scared of the Zachariah. Is that Elijah? It's one of Elijah's Smurfs. Okay. He's playing on the Smurf. Okay, yeah. So the banning deal, yeah, his Aphelios is clean. His Jhin clean, but the Aphelios is a little harder to counter draft wise. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to play Xinjia. Don't worry. Garmoth in 2 hours. Okay, so Kaisa ban. Kaisa ban. She's gone through like what 2 patches worth of nerfs at this point. Is she still a top tier?
She's
priority?
still, yeah.
It is
in
ridiculous.
The Thresh
She's going to stay on the top until she's just immediately sent to the bottom of the discard pile. And the Thresh ban, they don't want to deal with it. Be gone, they say. Let's see that first pick. Let's see if they prioritize the Arlen's Vel'Koz. Maybe they could first pick support. I doubt they're probably going to want to save Lily's and Miguel's picks for later on. They shoved the Gnar.
They left the Gnar, yep.
Gnar's a very
Gnar's
solid
always
first
been
pick.
pretty strong.
Good matchups in the top lane, excellent team fight presence, and a good solid performance track record from their top laner Ardit. GG will fire back with the Nautilus Trist quick. They're drafting real quick. They're not giving PC too much time to process what's happening. With a very strong bot lane Golden Guardians has already. Tristana can hyper carry that 1v9 style, and Nautilus provides so much team fight coverage.
Oh, but the Anivia is very
Anivia
strong right now, especially with Ireland. Certainly
Arlen's
wouldn't
been practicing. Let's see
I
if they're just
certainly wouldn't
teasing.
want to be playing against him with that. That's for sure.
Either they're contemplating picking something else, or they're just letting the timer tick down to talk, and they will lock in the Anivia. So that's top and mid. The solo lanes are picked out. Also, there's a jungle in the bot lane. I feel like what I want to see from BCT here is I want to see them pick an ADC and then pick a support to counter in the next phase. Yep, here we go. So they're going to be picking Caitlyn. Okay, that's it. I like that. Gives a good laning presence against the Tristana. Helps mitigate the potential snowball.
I definitely feel like they do have a very strong team fight, but that Malphite could throw some wrenches into their plans, that's for sure.
Does Lord Paleskin play Malphite mid? Do we know? Or is it Dixon? Like, Dixon's the mid laner, right?
I believe Dixon
so
is the
mid top laner. Robert's a jungler. Lord Paleskin's their top laner. And Lord Paleskin's their top laner.
I do know that some of Dixon's picks have been interesting.
Zach ban. I guess they're really terrified of Robert Zach. I'm surprised they choose to ban that over, say, his J4, which he has a much more proven record with, or even his Lilia. I watched Robert hard carry some Lilia. Mega Studio isn't really looking for a carry in the jungler right now, but they do have tons of engagement mobility. I'm excited to see how they draft around it. And it's a Juani ban. Okay, so they are scared of that. Lockdown would be way too much. Oh? Does Robert play
Hecarim is always very strong. I haven't seen him play Hecarim.
I don't think I've ever. I've probably seen it once or twice, but because that's not Robert's team. Wait, is it? I'm freaking out. Wait, no, that is Robert's team. Yeah, so they are picking the Hecarim for Robert, and BCT's picking potentially the J4. They will lock it in. That's Lily's J4. You have to wonder, knowing the kind of player she is, if she's going to be going for like a more aggressive AD, electrocute J4, if she's going to opt for like, but her team does need the front line. You have the Anivia, the Caitlyn, the Gnar. You don't really need to carry. So, interesting pick.
They do lock in the Maokai here. I think they do have very good team fight. They've got a lot of CC where
support,
they can just hold the enemy and yeah. But late game with the Gnar, the Anivia, the Jarvan, and Maokai, they can just lock people down. Anivia will ult right under them and
big R buttons on both sides. Ooh, and the last pick of Veigar. Interesting. Okay. Rounds out there, gives them some more AP damage, gives them more reliable burst. I will say GG is like, outside of the Tristana, they are lacking a lot of sustained damage that BCT just has in spades. The Caitlyn, the Anivia, and the Gnar, all of them are capable of busting out tons of damage pretty low rotation cooldowns. So GG, I think their game plan is going to be take big, whopping R button team fights, pick off like 1 or 2, and then take the number advantage around objectives. And if they can pull and execute that, then I think they should be good. But I'm favorable of BCT's draft right now. Seems like they have a really solid plan going on.
Their draft certainly does look better in my opinion as well. I feel like their team fight, as long as it's well played and they don't get picked, will be very good. I think GG really has to kind of look for picks with that Malphite ult in the Hecarim and try to pick off 1 or 2 of BCT before a team fight, just to kind of go even, because I do believe if it's 5v5, BCT will come out on top most of the time.
Right. So, lanes to watch. Gnar versus the Malphite. It's a pretty... I'm pretty sure it's like, even though Gnar has the ranged matchup, I'm pretty sure Malphite, it's a pretty even lane as far as I know. So jungle influence is really going to be the deciding factor. I think both sides are really going to be playing around mid top side this game. Tristana Nautilus is actually they could try to play around bot lane. Bot lane just feels like so
like
skirmish heavy already.
Yeah.
It feels like it's gonna be a bloodbath, like whether or not junglers come.
Like if Nautilus can land a good hook early, then getting that Trist ahead will certainly be what they should look for.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely going to make a difference this game. If Trist can start out ahead, then that'll be very good for GG. If she starts out behind, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for them to catch up.
I want to see GG invade. I want to see them hard commit to the invade. Because a lot of their characters, they're really going to need to be momentum heavy in the early game. Has harder scaling options, even though the other team has Tristana and Veigar, two notoriously well scaling characters. I think BCT's team comp just does a lot better. So I really want to see GG like take initiative on the map, go for aggressive plays.
I do believe that they will have to try to make plays early. I think if they wait too long or don't get ahead enough in the early game, I think the longer this game goes on, the more it favors BCT, definitely.
Okay, so this is Robert on the Hecarim.
Yeah. One thing that is a little bit difficult is just BCT has so much poke in their bot lane. Caitlyn has much longer range than Tristana for autos. And
they do have a lot of poke, but I think their all-in's a little scuffed, honestly. Even though Caitlyn's a really good all-in bot laner, the problem is that, because like with her trap combos, if you have a CC support, Maokai, there's a bit of, if they've practiced this combo before, they're probably confident, but Maokai has he can fuck up traps with his Q if he roots and like because he displaces them. So it's a bit awkward they have to really be open and communicative about when to put down traps and like when Maokai's going to go for the point blank Q.
I think it's definitely going to be partially decided by the supports. Like if Nautilus can get totally. A good hook or Maokai like a good route into a Caitlyn trap. Like
100%.
I think that'll definitely tip the bot lane one way or another.
Mid lane should be a snooze fest. If either of these players get a kill on the other one, I'm really going to be genuinely surprised. I think the winner of the mid lane is going to be the one who roams to the jungle skirmishes the most, because Lily and Robert, these are two very aggressive junglers. They like action, and they seek it quite thoroughly. So whichever mid laner is more responsive and having better synergy with the jungle, I think they're going to determine the pace of the early game. Really excited to see how both teams like how they choose to play it out.
I definitely think GG is gonna want to get eyes on where Lily is. They really need to have good ward placement because I do believe that Jarvan skinks.
Yeah, tracking the jungler,
Well,
that's going to be tricky, sure.
Yeah, because I think if any of their lanes get ahead, if any
Yeah.
of BCT's lanes get ahead, it's gonna be rough for them. So I think they really.
And Lily's been known to clear a little unconventionally. You know, like she's been really excellent in some series as at evading jungle vision because she doesn't just like blind like clear from bot to top or top to bot. You know, she really does clear with intent for a lot of the early game. So excited to see how Robert's able to like predict her movements. But Dixon's Vigar, I'm looking forward to this. I think Vigar in a competitive setting is such a ballsy pick because it's both capable of doing so much damage and yet it's also occasionally like capable of like busting out nothing.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens. Because landing the W is like it is a really like if the other team's paying attention, landing that W is hard. You know, Cage provides a lot of utility. Q ult obviously can like one shot most squishies in the late game, so you don't even land the W. But regardless, they have a lot of catch on the team with the Gnar, the J4, the Maokai. Like Vigar's gonna have to play really far back.
It's definitely gonna be rough for Vigar. He's most likely gonna have to get Zanya's relatively early, especially with all the CC on the enemy team. I think if he gets behind early, he's kind of done for. I think, honestly, Robert should probably be focusing like mid and bot side. But if Lily gets there first and puts like her bot lane or her mid laner ahead, then he's definitely gonna have to look to other lanes or just like look top.
Yeah.
Hecarim definitely has the potential for good ganks, but I think if Jarvan ever shows up to counter gank, it's going to be kind of rough depending on which lane it is for who comes out on top.
No, yeah, Robert's going to have a lot of patience playing this matchup because immediately ganking the lane, especially if you're not tracking Lily, if you're not super confident you're tracking Lily, she might just show up at the right time and it could turn what would have been your game-saving play, or what could have been like the big centerpiece of your momentum, and it could just turn that against you. Here we go. We're loading in. Spectator delay is elapsed. So you think BCT's draft is better?
I do think that their draft is better. I think once they transition to full-on team fights, they definitely have more CC and more like damage over time, which I think will definitely be helpful in winning those fights. I think that GG will definitely have to look more for picks like using the Vigar and the Malphite to try to pick off a couple people before
one thing I will
actually
say about
getting the team fight.
I totally agree. I do think that Guardian on the J4, interesting opt. Definitely intention. Yeah. Phase rush on the Vigar. Okay, we're just loading in. Yeah, I'm at 0. No one's spawned yet, though. Robert opting for the Ghost. Dixon opting for the Cleanse while Arlen gets the TP advantage in that lane. Dixon knows how important it is to be able to... Yeah.
Yes.
Knows how important it is... Yeah, we just loaded. For me. Knows how important it is to be able to dodge the chaining of Lily, Moto, CC with Arlen's Q, which is a pretty, especially against a Vigar, pretty easy one to land. Okay, blue team pinging that they're going to be invading through the top side. Red team mirrors, looks like they're kind of, Vigar's waiting in base. They don't seem super unified right now. They're kind of just fanning out. They don't seem like they're going for very aggressive invade. Both teams just fanning out, just trying to get entrance vision. Hecarim and Tristan in the bush. Let's see if Lily face checks this. Probably won't. Here you go. Both teams are just gonna. Ooh, gets the ward in the bush. Oh, they're approaching. They have vision of them. Question mark ping's coming out. Malphite duking it out, asserting his dominance, or getting asserted on. This is a 2v1. He's a little outnumbered here. He will get out relatively unscathed, though. He didn't cast Q, so he didn't get a mana flow ban proc. Suboptimal, but overall he gets out alive. Okay, a lot of go in pings, a lot of danger pings too. Let's see, both teams kind of conflicted whether they want to do both, like feel the potential that the invade could bring, but no one really wants to make the first move. They don't have vision. They don't have vision in that bush, but the red team doesn't know they don't have vision. Oh, they could have pulled it off. Oh, but then the saving grace of the Maokai. Buffs will spawn. Both teams return back to where once they came. Robert, a little more chunk than he wants to be.
Definitely.
Hecarim's clear is relatively healthy, right? As long as he doesn't do Gromp. I feel like Gromp would mess him up.
Gromp does restore a lot of health now, so I think it wouldn't be too damaging to do it. He's definitely a lot lower than he wants to be to start, though. And he'd probably have to smite it as well. Yep.
Full disclosure, I'm like eating a spinach slice right now. I didn't have dinner. Just full honesty for the viewers. So Robert looks like he's going for a pretty conventional clear. Clears his bot side camps. Heading towards the top side, probably aiming for about like a 4-minute gank on the top lane. Lily starts her red Raptors, seems to be heading up towards the top lane too. There could be a little contention at the scuttle. Wards, defensive wards to watch for Lily invade. What do you say?
Nar is just poking Malphite down almost every time he walks up, but it doesn't matter because one Malphite Q about evens it out.
Yeah, no, the range is definitely like it definitely makes the matchup in Nar's favor, but Malphite's Q are just it's such a good trading tool, especially like when he gets that corrupted. Oh, he went Doran Shield, so he doesn't have corrupting spot. Okay, but I think he has presence of mind. No, he does. He uses mana. Oh, yeah, he does have presence of mind, so he's looking to sustain mana. For sure. Yeah, bot lane BCT's wins the shove to 2. GG has to respect it. Nautilus goes in, gets ignited immediately. Miguel's got to get out of there, but he's got the bomb on him. Maokai, sacrificial lamb, but will get out unscathed. Both teams, sums blown by both members of the bot lane. Tristana holds on to her flash, as does the Nautilus, but Miguel's out of both sums. That's not where you want to be into the Tristana lane. You need those sums. Okay, Miguel with some solid trap placement. Skirmish in the top side river. Big cage from Dixon, big damage coming out. They'll get the egg, but Lily comes in for the kill. The Guardian proc, giving her the shield to deal with it. Dixon will have to flash out. The egg will revive unscrambled. And Arda comes in just to say hi as well. Both teams, big action in the mid and bot lane. But BCT ultimately comes out on top with a 700 gold lead secured already at 4 minutes.
Certainly looking like it's going to be a little rough right now for GG. I definitely think that the draft heavily favored BCT.
Yeah. Lily, looking to the top lane, Juan doesn't have vision and he's got no mana. He does have the flash, but will it be enough? Lily times the Q, waits for it. Will they have the damage or will they grief? And get out with a smidge of health, but does get top flash, and if Ardit's able to crash this quick enough, they'll get top TP as well. Good gank pull off. Lily still has her flash through all of that, so she's still capable of really reaching for those aggressive plays in the early game.
I'm surprised that Nar isn't pushing the lane a little bit harder, just to kind of force Malphite to have to TP back the lane. But
he will be missing this fat wave still, so I don't think he's particularly sore about it.
Definitely makes sense though. Nar gets a nice cheater back.
Hecarim hovering bot side. I think just clearing his Gromp. No real action capable at the moment. Dragons just spawned, but both teams have vision of the center warding area. Robert got the crab, and I think Adrian put a smart ward at the entrance of the jungle. It won't quite catch Robert, but if he pokes his head down a little bit more, they will have vision of him. God, spinach slices are so good. I'm sorry. So let's look at CS leads. So
it looks like Lily's looking to gain 5.
Oh, she's waiting patiently in the brush. Trist and Nod are a little far up. Lily will be spotted out. Trist will jump out, but too late. They're a little too uncertain. Flash will have to be blown. Trist gets too low.
Yep,
Can't do anything. Ignite will take Adrian down, but not the fatal blow. The hook comes out, but even if that hits, you're not guaranteed to get it. Very clean stuff coming out of BCT.
Looks like Hecarim is looking top side, possibly to take some camps.
Big invade by the Hecarim.
Oh. And the gang
He has
mid.
2 camps ahead of.
Oh, and
Oh.
Vagar is gone.
Nice flash usage from Lily, holding on to it through 3 kills. She's been a part of all 3 kills on her team thus far, and only now manages to bust out the flash. Really good restraint on her part.
Ganks have definitely been very clean.
Oh, did she? Oh, I'm like not watching that.
Hecarim's looking top.
Oh, I'm eating my pizza right now.
But
I'm like not
Nar
watching.
can
I'm just
see
looking
him.
at the mini map. Okay, it looks like. Oh, okay. So just a voice in my head. Both teams, neither of them have really given much attention to the dragon yet. BCT's wrestled a decent bit of momentum. I wonder if they're going to try to translate that into an objective lead anytime soon. Lily is hovering bot side. Will probably be clearing her Krugs. Might get her close to that level 6, which is oh so important to objective team fights. Definitely a stronger level 6 spike than the Golden Gamers bot lane.
And Jarvan's looking for that scuttle.
Spinach slice.
Tristana has to jump out. They might be collapsing on the Nautilus here.
Flag drag will catch too, but Dixon's cage is huge.
Oh,
Lily's
yeah.
shoving in there with them. Dixon will get the return kill onto Lily, but at what cost? He's trying to get away. The bird chases him down. Maokai will get in. Robert will try to save him. The wall will take him damage, and Kalen will get a double kill. Healing to save Adrian, even though he probably would have gotten out okay. Better safe than sorry, they say. And they're gonna probably. Oh, they're not gonna start up the dragons. Lily just got up. They don't want to risk it, knowing that Hecarim's still alive. Okay. But overall, still very clean stuff. Good on Dixon for getting the return kill and good cage, but it just wasn't enough to save the engage. BCT played it really aggressively, but they had a lot of tools to use.
Yeah, and
Didn't overplay
getting
their hand at all.
Caitlyn is definitely gonna be very useful. Her
Yeah, the
range
double
and
kill's
poke.
huge. Did she buy that stopwatch, or is that commencing? She bought that, right? Yeah, but Miguel, grabbing the stopwatch, knowing that early game momentum is going to be so important, a good stopwatch could save the early game fight. Robert will go in. He ults in like a huge. Miguel has to flash out. The bomb's on him, but Miguel. Oh, she gets slowed. TP will save Adrian's life. Arlen comes in. He's looking for the engage. Will back off tensely, but really clean disengage from BCT. Good initiative from Robert. Good ult, but they just didn't have enough on to Caitlyn to get the kill. What a shame. And the slow from the Maokai also doing massive work. This Maokai pick is really, really deceptively strong for support.
Yeah, it is very strong. And what I guess really sucks for GG is Caitlyn hasn't spent that gold she got from the double kill yet. So when she comes back to lane now, she's gonna be even stronger.
Ooh, wall trap will miss from the Anivia. If he lands that, Lily could go for a gank, but will not happen. She will get pinked and spotted out on her back by Dixon, who tries to cancel it, but okay, we'll just exchange some little bit of poke. Dixon getting chunked by the Anivia. The damage is unsuspected. Just
Yeah.
has sorcerer boots, nothing else.
It does feel almost deceptively strong right now.
So, what do you think GG's has to do to get back in this game?
Honestly, I think they're gonna need like a 4-man gank somewhere. They're gonna need to communicate. They're gonna really need to work together. Like, if they had a ward on Dragon right now, I almost think that if they could see them, they definitely need more vision like elsewhere.
I think they're knowingly giving Dragon. The other thing to take into account is they haven't really fought with the Malphite yet. The dynamic of the team fight could be completely different with the threat of the Malphite R button. So later in the game, I think that what I want to see is I want to see Juan maneuvering some of that pressure in favor, maybe see if they can grab Rift Herald with it, BCT was
Yeah.
really slow. That's an 11-minute first dragon. That's a while. It's been sitting for 7 minutes.
But the thing is,
they win the scaling game, but they may give GG a little time to come back in.
they might have needed to give that dragon, but if you look at the map, look at BCT's wards. Look at how many wards GG has.
No, the ward game is excellent. No, yeah.
I really think that if GG wants to come back from this, they really need to get more wards on the ground. They need to be able to see like where Lily's coming from, so that they can expect that Jarvan engage when Anivia roams down. They need to know that she's coming. Anivia could theoretically roam up. They don't have any wards basically in their jungle or on the river really. They have the one ward on Rift Herald, and that's basically it right now.
Yeah, both junglers look actually. Robert course corrects. He was looking top. I thought he was going to try to pressure for Rift, but he ends up walking bot. They cleared this bush. Both teams trying to make simultaneous plays on opposite sides of the map. Who will be the first one to catch the gun? Malphite's spidey senses are tingling. He does have the ult to get out. But we got bush campers in the bot lane. Adrian will face check. Hook onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's got the bomb on her. Stopwatch, but it may be in vain. She will get feared. Shutdown goes onto the Tristana. Tristana will be able to will flash. Ult for the kill on the Maokai. That's a double kill for the Triss. Triss is 2-1-1 now. But on the opposite side of the map, Lily did manage to execute the gank onto Malphite, was not able to get out. But overall, you're very happy to be seeing this. The gold lead just went from like 8K, like 7K to like 4K. I think. Not 7K.
And having those on the Trist will be very big.
Yeah.
Especially if they do team fight. Yeah.
Ooh, Nautilus looking mid. We'll get the Anivia flash. That's a really good flash to get. Because Anivia, when she doesn't have egg up, is just totally vulnerable. Well, she has egg up at the moment, but it gives you one step closer to getting the actual kill. So I feel like it is the same issue as I was saying earlier. Like when I first saw the draft, because they don't have because the Tristana is the only real source of engage with going in the mid lane. Arlo got caught out. Viger ult will get used. They're taking down the egg. It's taken a little while, but Dixon will get the last two with the smart Q. Herald resets. The Lily and Ardent want this. Mega Gnar's coming in. Big ult, but Wall will prevent Lily from going in further. Big Gnar ult and stun. Damage is coming in. Bot lane walks up. Caitlyn gets a kill on the Robert. Juan walks away for his life. Juan will get executed, but Nautilus getting chunked by that Caitlyn. Has the Gale Force. Tristana opted for the Kraken Slayer. Really wants the damage. Understands her role in this game. But both carries doing really well, and Miguel getting, was that a double kill, I think? He's really happy with how things are being played. But overall, things are generally more even. It went from like 5-1 to 8-4. That is it's not the worst thing to see if you're Golden Guardians. Especially you get a kill on the Vigar who's just getting his Everfrost. That's a pretty big power spike that guarantees a lot of kill potential onto the low mobility Anivia and a lot of team fight control from Malphite. So we'll see how they opt to use that pressure later into the game. Maokai ulting bot for the Tristana, a little overeager. Tristana just hops out of there, see you later, and they'll just go back to putting the wave. Ooh, big rotation coming out of the red team. No wards are going to spot them. Blue team has no coverage. Hecarim, Vigar, Nautilus waiting in the wings. Tristana lays herself out like a fish on a stick.
A little too far.
Hecarim goes...
Anivia gets a kill on the Triss.
Damage. Question mark ping coming out from
Holy cow.
from the red team. They just did not expect that Anivia damage. Holy crap. Yeah, and Dixon ends up getting caught. Lily, her reach is just too far. She has too much range. Nautilus will try to thin the wave in the bot lane so that they can't pressure for turret, but I doubt it'll really be they'll really be able to hold it. With Arland and J4 looking popping that Herald. Yeah, no, that's over. And with Dragon coming up shortly, they're really this is a really momentum heavy series of events for BCT. Towers are still even, all things considered. Tristana ended up getting the bot lane tower. Nautilus will kill the Rift Herald and potentially save the tower. Potentially not. Tristana won't get there in time. Okay, the turret will be taken down and Dragon will be slain. Now it's a 6K gold lead. Connor, I'm an optimist. I mean, voice in my head, I'm an optimist.
It is certainly looking a little bit rough right now.
It is on the rougher side, but you're still, all it takes, especially with the kind of comp that GG got, all it takes is one big Malphite ult onto a mispositioned Caitlyn or Nivea, and that's all of their damage gone. You know, if Malphite gets that ult, Dixon gets the ult, Tristana's free hitting on the side, they do have the potential. It will be ridiculously hard to execute, and BCT will have to definitely make their fair share of errors, but hope is definitely not lost for Golden Gamers. So, Dixon's tier stacking up. I wonder if he's going to opt for the casual tier or if he's going to go for the Seraphs. I've been really enjoying Seraphs, but I know some people, it's a bit of a controversial item. I've talked to a decent amount of people who like just straight up don't like it because it doesn't give the shield anymore, so you don't get the survivability, and it doesn't give the CDR. Just because raw IP. But I feel like on Vigar you want raw IP.
On Vigar you do want raw IP. Like, you are just kind of a glass cannon, but Seraphs does feel a little bit worse than it used to.
Especially now that casual tier is such a good pickup.
And tier is almost essential on any mid lane mage at this point, just because of the changes we have.
Hook onto the Gnar by Ardit. He was unsuspecting. Elijah will go for some aggressive autos, but will back out before before the Caitlyn gets to retaliate some fire. Both teams have 3 people in the top lane. Nivea's free farming bot. Malphite does have flash and ult though. They could see about rotating to make a play happen top, but there are no objectives on the map, so it would just be for the gold and the turret defense potentially. Malphite making his way top. 4 members of the red team top lane. Let's see if they can translate this into an actual lead. Ward will be in the tri-bush.
Definitely knew he was coming.
Yeah. Caitlyn has flash and she has Gale Force. She has all the tools she needs to get out. Robert will get spotted, but we'll clear the vision, opening up the gank potential from the Malphite. Caitlyn walking a little aggressively. Oh,
Lily and Arland are working
Nautilus. Okay, Nautilus ult onto the Caitlyn. Oh, the lack of synergy.
But Jarvan's coming here.
Okay, Nautilus will get caught by the Anivia Q. It was almost so good for the team. The Malphite ult was big. Caught 2 of them, but they just weren't able to dish out the damage in time. Caitlyn had Gale Force, Flash, and heal. She just had everything up. Sometimes there's nothing to do.
And Jarvan and Anivia were already moving up as well, so it's definitely a little bit rough.
And he dies with his dignity, going straight in for the Caitlyn with his dying breath. Gotta respect it.
At that point, if you know you probably aren't gonna get out, you gotta try to kill for something, right?
Gotta.
Ooh, and that Jarvan
big ult by Lily onto 2. Tristana will get out. Ult will be tanked by Robert, but Robert will tank it to the grave. 4 people at the top lane turret, and Nivea duking it out with Vigar in the mid lane. Dixon will be able to bust up the damage. He has to flash to dodge the... Oh, he walks into the ult! No! That's really unfortunate stuff.
Yeah, that's so rough. This is why you definitely don't want to give Arland
Anivia pings Vigar's cleanse, even though he didn't get it, but he deserves it, honestly. He deserves to ping the thing. This is a sub 20-minute inhib. That is ridiculous. And they don't have really tons of wave clear on the side of Golden Gamers, so they won't really be able to like turn this into a positive for them. Sometimes you actually really like when you get inhibbed early, you can actually turn into a gold lead because the enemy can't freeze and they lose a lot of waves. And that's usually favorable, but with Dragons coming up the bot side and this being the top inhib, that just doesn't really leave Red Team with many options. Really good game sight, like a foresight coming out of BCT. 5 towers to 1, almost a 10k gold lead, 20 minutes. We'll see if they can pull it back, but it's looking grimmer and grimmer by the minute. Mythics will be picked up on the side of Golden Gamers. We'll see if they'll be able to turn these power spikes into a lead, or a potential for a comeback. Robert spotted out. Lily flag and drags in for the distance, has the ult, threatening it hard. Dixon has no flash, but he's just standing there. Lily backs off. Oh, Lily, she could have potentially gotten a 3-man ult, but I think she knows that Malphite's looking for the flank. Good game sense by her. Big stun. Vigar will cleanse. Nautilus will just barely get out, not be able to get out. The Maokai ult will catch Dixon on the flank side. Gnar comes over to the side. They're just bouncing all over their jungle. They're so mobile. Gnar ult onto the Malphite. Trist is firing. They are managing to pull off a decent bit of damage, but they ultimately don't get anyone. It's 2 for none. 16-4 with 3 Drakes on the side of BCT. Yep. Really clean execution coming out of BCT. Really excellent synergy.
So this is definitely a very good team comp that they built for this game. I definitely think that GG is gonna have to ban the Anivia and the Gnar on the next one. I think Arden are very comfortable on those 2 picks.
What were the bans again? I don't really remember actually. So I know BCT banned Aphelios. I know BCT's bans. Yeah. I don't remember Golden Gamer's bans. They banned the Thresh.
Xin Zhao,
Kaisa, Thresh. Yeah.
Leona
right.
and Braum.
You're right. Yes. Yeah.
I definitely think they'd want to prioritize the Gnar and the Anivia ban next time over the Xin Zhao and possibly the Thresh.
Robert just trying to take his red. He's just a poor boy. Will be able to smite it away, but Baron is up. BCT, the colossal amount of pressure they have. Gnar doesn't have TP. He is in the bot lane, but I don't think that Golden Gamers is tracking that cooldown. It's a really fickle cooldown, the TP, because it changes level. So they could be calling their bluff here and just sending Gnar to the bot lane while they pressure other lanes and potentially threaten Baron. Caitlyn wasting no time. Miguel opts for the LDR second item. Gives no fucks. Is it LDR second?
Very good.
I know LDR is insane. I know it's LDR second is insane. I feel like you want more attack speed.
It is. Yeah, second.
Yeah. I feel the third it makes a lot of sense, but he's wasting no time. Knows that they got the Malphite, Hecarim, Nautilus. He's on Caitlyn duty. Go. Elijah is probably on some level a little happy to just get unmitigated farm top. We'll get tons of EXP and gold as a result, which could make him strong enough to defensive fights, but still the gold gap is just so formidable. It really have to be a miracle for GG to pull this one back. 10k gold lead at 24 minutes. Yeah. BCT hitting a lot of item power spikes. Sterek's Gauge just picked up on the Gnar. Seraph's completed on Anivia. Both of them looking to really do some damage, set up for that Baron, and then push potentially the end. Dixon gets spotted in the bot jungle by BCT. Miguel and Arlen will be waiting in this bush, but the red team won't be able to get any vision on them because if they go too close, they lose their base. And Arlen and Ardit both have TP up. It's just too much to risk. They're showing on the wave. Lily takes this as a sign the Baron's theirs for the taking, but red team does have a ward. They won't really sweep it. But I don't think there's a world where they get there in time. Oh, Robert. Let's see, he doesn't have flash. He does have the ult. Oh no, way too late. Oh no, Malphite gets trapped off the TP. Won't even be able to get the ult off. That's not what you want to see. Lily has flash, phase rush. Nimbus Cloak Vigar will be able to get out, but oh, Dixon. Oh, my sweet summer child. Will get evaporated like the glass of water. This metaphor is being. Yeah, Ardit's just doing our things. It's over.
And they do, yeah.
It happens. Yeah, top inhib will get knocked down right after being reborn. Nexus turrets will melt. Cooldowns are down for red team. Malphite's up in 5. He has the ult, but it looks like they're just looking to die with their dignity. Malphite, oh no, will ult onto a K-trap. Gnar ult will catch a lot of them. They're out for blood. Blue team doesn't just want the win, they want the glory, and they will get it. 25-minute finisher, 20-4. Excellent game by BCT. Really incredible stuff.
Definitely very well played. The draft was very good.
Yeah. Don't you usually leave to prevent this?
Yeah, you have to exit the game.
Okay, let's look at the damage charts. Vigar did a formidable amount of damage. Dixon really actually put in a decent amount of work. But the problem is they have a 3-tank comp, you know. And BCT scaling options just secured too much gold too early. Lot of damage. Oh, lobby's full. Lobby's full. Oh, here we go. Okay, now yeah. Oh, I can't look at the post screen anymore. Oh, damn. A lot of damage by Arlen though. I think that's who did a lot of damage.
Yeah, Arlen did do a
was
lot
with
of
Caitlyn
damage.
Arlen.
Arlen
Yeah.
did, and their support, Adrian, did a lot
How
of
many
damage.
times- how many
Almost the
times-
equivalent of Vagar.
Yeah, no, that Maokai support, it's such a sleeper pick because no one wants. It feels so bad to ban Maokai for the purpose of banning Maokai support. It just feels bad, but it's such a strong pick, and they really showed what they were made of. With the Caitlyn Maokai, the poke is just insane. The all-in's crazy. They're really well synchronized with Lily as well as bot laners. Really turned what looked like an unconventional bot lane into winning presence. Gold Guards might be willing to consider taking the Thresh next time. Because the Maokai just does even though Adrian's really comfortable in the Thresh, Maokai just does things that Thresh can't.
Yeah, the CC, I know a couple times his ults, seemed a little bit off, but, he was able to kind of get people to move, you know?
Yeah.
Zoning ults are a thing. If you can ult and have the entire enemy team run away.
No, there were some huge Maokai ults that game. Really did a great job catching a lot of them on their engage, preventing what could have been a winning engage, and in some cases catching them on their retreat. Really excellent stuff. Really good. You can tell BCTs they're all using their abilities super seamlessly. They have a lot of good team chemistry, and that game was just an excellent display of that teamwork.
I
GG,
definitely
licking their
think they were
wounds.
all.
They'll be able to come back with a vengeance potentially in this next game. They know their win conditions. They know. I think that they can figure out how to draft around what happened last time. They didn't expect the J4 pick. They didn't expect the Maokai pick. There was a lot. They got thrown a couple of screwballs in the last draft. So we can't really blame them for not knowing what they were up to. But the Nara and Nivea, both a two-pick
They should have seen
staple.
those coming a little bit. Yeah, those are Arlen and Arden's staple picks.
And I think that in this game they'll definitely have the tools to be able to. Oh damn! Wait, I'm not the. Say I wasn't in the spec link. Okay, here we go. Definitely pull it back into a solid game too. I'm gonna go get some water. Be right back.
Looks like they are getting ready to start the pick bans. I am kind of hoping to see GG ban probably the Gnar, the Anivia, and possibly Mordekaiser. I do think letting Ireland and Arden get on those very strong picks is certainly going to make the game difficult for them. They both have very good synergy with each other. And it looks like draft has started, and again, GG is going to ban Xin Zhao first. And BCT is going for Kaisa. Kaisa always has been very strong ADC. And they are going to continue with the Thresh ban. And BCT will ban Aphelios. And then the Maokai ban actually comes out. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't ban Anivia or Gnar for the first round this time. I do think that BCT will probably try to pick those up again if they can. I think having champs that your team does well on two of your very good players is a very good idea, and I know Byron and Nivea are two of their strongest champs, so. But BCT is looking at Caitlyn right now, and GG picks the hack room once more.
Okay, I'm back. So yeah, they opt to ban the Maokai. It does make sense because I think the way that Golden Gardens is looking at it is I think they're seeing bot lane as their win condition, right? So they're seeing Elijah as what they're basing a lot of the comp around. That's why they put him on the Tristana. They gave him a solid support, and Maokai just gave BCT too much presence in the bot lane. Maokai sets up ganks, pokes, engages, disengages. It's just too much utility. They will go for the Nautilus pick again, opting for a very similar draft to last time. I understand that they feel the draft might work better this time, and it probably will. But I feel like there's a bit of a mental deficit you're working with when you pick the same characters that you just lost with, you know, because it's like insecurities and it's like it's a bit of a mental boom, you know. So I usually I feel like switching it up is usually oh, they're gonna poach the Anivia. Oh, they're poaching eggs. This is crazy. GG.
It's actually.
Fights back.
I was a little bit surprised that they left it up, but it makes sense if they're gonna poach it.
They don't ban the Anivia because they don't need to. Oh, that's the pick. BCT could have never seen that coming. They prioritize the Leona, but they will end up in the. Oh no!
The Vel'Koz is coming out.
I will say the Vel'Koz is a lot more vulnerable than the Anivia is. So that's something for GG to potentially take advantage of if they really get engaged in the top lane. BCT sees that condition though, so they ban out the Malphite. They're probably sure to ban out something like Scion or another really good tank engager. But I don't know if I want GG to pick a tank this game for the top laner because I think they might want something with a little bit more kick, a little bit more damage, because they were kind of lacking in some of the team fights. So I'm excited to see what they pick for their top lane and for their bot lane. I really want to see something like, honestly, I want to see something like a Jhin, you know, something that has the range to be able to like impact ganks and other things more, and like set up ganks with traps and his W, and also compensate with more burst damage because you have Anivia. Anivia gives you a lot of sustained damage. Getting a little bit of AD burst in the form of the Jhin would be probably good, and also Elijah really flexes on the pick sometimes. Kha'Zix picked up for BCT though. That's not what you want to see.
Very good, yes.
It sacrifices a lot of BCT's potential team fight, but replaces it with a fuckload of damage into the fear factor.
And the Orin comes out.
Orin comes out. I like that pick. Orin is a tank, but he's a tank who spanks. So they see he really does do so much for the comp, and also really adds to the scaling for the Anivia. Oh, thank you. Oh, I didn't see that. I don't have the stream open. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adrian, for the gifted subs. Well played on that Maokai. It's a good pick. 5 seconds ticking up for GG. Their saving grace will be the Irelia? No, I'm expecting a message in chat in like 5 seconds. I'm expecting a message that like this is Jhin. Unless like Elijah's like a psychopath or something.
Unless they're going
or
rapid fire cannon
Irelia mid Anivia bot. We're not getting any corrections yet. No question marks either. BCT is definitely confused.
Xayah. It's Xayah.
Oh, Xayah. Oh, okay. That's a little unfair to wait so long to correct that because BCT was on the timer for that last pick, but they will opt for the Cho'Gath. Both teams definitely probably happy with their comps. BCT, they do have a lot more damage in this iteration, but they also have the Cho'Gath for frontlining and the Leona engage. They have a lot of options for playing at team fights. Both teams seem to be ready. We'll go into engage. What do you think, Stu?
I definitely think that GG does have a little bit of a better team comp this time with the Anivia and the Ornn, it really does add a lot. And having the Hecarim again against the Vel'Koz, I think Robert should be looking to gank mid quite a lot to get that Vel'Koz behind. The Kha'Zix.
Do you think Vel'Koz brings cleanse, or do you think Vel'Koz brings like teleport or barrier or ignite? He might want cleanse into this matchup, especially if
I think
if they break the game open through the mid lane.
I think he wants cleanse, but I think he will probably bring teleport or ignite. That's my thoughts on that. I do think that GG is definitely in a better position than they were. That Ornn ult is great for engage, great for disengage, and then the Nautilus is still very strong, and just having that Anivia ult as well, the Hecarim for picks and Xayah ult with the root, they definitely have a lot more CC. I think they'll do much better in team fights. They definitely want to be careful with how they position in team fights, though. They'll definitely want to get that Vel'Koz either picked before team fights or make sure that they take the Vel'Koz down early. Because if they let that Vel'Koz get a good ult off, it's going to be very rough, especially late game. If that Leona can get a good ult and stun a couple people and Vel'Koz ult on top of that, it's going to be very difficult to go on with that team fight, and they're going to have to disengage really quick.
Oh, I really do wish that they would have picked the Jhin. I understand that they probably feel like the Xayah is a safer pick, but I think that the pop that Jhin gives you would have been really good, because Nautilus is almost never really going to be on engage duty, or at least he really should be. You have the Hecarim and you have the Ornn for the solid 1-2 engage. Nautilus really should be focusing on peel. So I don't think you're too worried about the Kha'Zix if Nautilus is hugging the ADC. So I understand that Xayah does give a little bit of safety from the Kha'Zix and from the Leona, but I feel like it's a little overcautious coming out of Golden Gamers, and they could have definitely opted for a little bit more damage. But either way, I definitely like the switch ups.
I definitely think the Xayah was a good pick, because I think the Kha'Zix could just theoretically just burst the Jhin really easily, whereas Xayah, at least if they notice the Kha'Zix,
Nautilus should always be there though. Like Nautilus should never not be there, you know. Like, especially with Leona on the other team.
He should, but picks don't happen when you're grouped up together normally. Picks happen when
but you should be getting picked as the ADC in general. I feel like it's just like an extra bit of safety. I don't know. I'm biased because I'm not a big fan of Xayah as an ADC. I don't really like her very much. So
I think it was a good pick. The ult gives her like a moment of like invincibility, basically, where she like can avoid incoming CCs, and then the root right after. I think it's pretty decent for disengage or engage, depending on how it's used. Especially if the Ornn ult goes in first, and then having the Xayah ult on top of it, that'll keep them rooted after they're knocked up. I think it could be a pretty decent
You never
combo.
use Xayah ult defensively though. That's why I hate Xayah, because no one uses her ult defensively. I think I'd be a lot more okay with the character if it wasn't just like a get out of jail free card. If it was instead like a really offensive tool. But that's the way it effectively gets used. Either way, Cho'Gath into the Ornn. That's a weird lane. I'm pretty sure Ornn has the potential to win that, but there's definitely room for skill to wiggle the matchup in Cho'Gath's favor, especially with the intense pressure from the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix will have a hard time like killing the Ornn. That's a lot of mountain to get through. And it could probably stall long enough for the Hecarim to have impact on that top lane matchup. But at the moment,
honestly, I think for this match, at least both junglers are definitely going to have their eyes mid. Lily's going to want to pop 100%. That Anivia egg early, and Hecarim's definitely going to want to get Anivia ahead and gank that Vel'Koz, at least force him to back.
Can't wait for the signature Lily Moto Guardian Kha'Zix. I feel like she could make it work.
I'm sure she could. She's very good on Kha'Zix.
I don't know. I've been a big fan of the idea of taking Guardian on junglers for a while, but everyone's like, it's so inefficient. And it's like, it's all about the shield. You get a fat shield when you gank. What's bad about that? Especially on picking like a J4. I'm talking to Luke. I'm sorry. I was just.
It's all right.
What does that even mean? Okay, anyway, so oh, you're right. I should have brought Airy in the jungle. Jesus. Okay. So this bot lane. Okay, so it's Saya Nautilus. Uh, um, I feel like level 6 is going to be like the point that breaks open the bot lane because Caitlyn Leona, their level 6 is really good, but so is Nautilus Saya. So I'm expecting both teams to be trying to shift around their resources to make something happen on these timing sensitive power spikes. Oh, Stu, is that your cat?
The picture in the League channel, yeah.
Yeah. What's your cat's name?
Her name's Iris.
Oh, Iris. I didn't know that. She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Aw. Conquer Cossacks. Okay, I like it. I like it. We have Aftershock on the Ornn. Not the biggest fan of Aftershock on Ornn, but I see if you're seeing your Ornn as like your team fight engager, I can see the value that it gives. Godly RNG opts for the Electrocute, taking no prisoners. Arlen, however, will get the barrier. Does not care for the TP, just wants to survive lane.
I definitely think that is a smart move on his part. I think the junglers both know that mid has got to be their priority lane. They're gonna have to try to shift the game there and make sure that their mid laners don't get behind.
Oh, both teams, like two ships missing each other in the night, will be opposing invades. Red team, however, does not know that blue team is up there, and they will set up shop by their red buff. If they're patient enough, they could catch. BCT could catch an impatient Robert or an unsuspecting Robert as he heads back, unless he plans on taking their raids. 2 backs. Adrian cancels. It's just Cho'Gath. Oh, it's just Lily. Lily is slumming backs. Okay, but they get some valuable vision on that red buff.
I am a little bit surprised that they didn't decide to stay
Stop
and
being so sexy. I can't
it.
focus on the cast. Golden Gamers doesn't. They assembled all of them into one bush and risked the vision differential, but didn't get any vision to the top side jungle. So Robert will be starting blue side. Probably looking to gank bot lane, make something happen. But red team has wards that hopefully for Robert will expire by the time he makes his fair way down there. Here you go. Which lanes do you think are the ones to watch? Do you think it's top or bot? I think it's probably going to be bot lane.
I definitely think bot lane is going to be one of the lanes to watch. I think we'll probably see the most action mid.
I don't really think both of them have a lot of range. I doubt they're like. I think both junglers are probably going to be looking mid, but both of them are also kind of awkward to gank. And you have two very. Dixon plays a lot of jungle. He's probably really good at tracking that kind of attention and that kind of presence. So we'll see if BCT can execute a gank onto him. It's a little more straightforward for BCT because you get the stun on Vel'Koz, Tech follows up. It's a little more straightforward as to how the gank goes. But to get the kill on Dixon, Arlen's going to need to land a clutch E, which is very tricky to do on a target that's expecting it.
It is very difficult, but I think this could just be one of the games where you're more so looking to like bully the opponent out of lane. Maybe not like kill the Anivia necessarily, but make it so that either she ends up popping egg or has to back. Just to try to get your own laner a little bit ahead.
Right. So we'll see. Lily is making her way towards that topside river, is scanning for coverage, but Golden Gamers don't seem to really think anything's going on. Skirmish in the bot lane will burn Lord Paleskin's Ignite on the Nautilus, and will get the heal from the Miguel in return. He goes back in with the Nautilus E. Eliza misses out on the root, but gets a lot of chunk damage in. That's a really good trade for a Golden Gamers bot lane. Definitely good stuff coming out of Elijah and Lord Paleskin. top lane pretty insignificant trades. These are just two meatballs slapping each other.
Mhm.
Yeah. Entire topside is clear. Didn't expect the topside start from Hecarim. Junglers. They're even in camps right now. Hecarim's making his way towards the bot lane. Won't have level 6 or anything, but we'll be able to get some coverage on Jig and maybe even pick up Lily's. Oh, looking mid. Let's see if Dixon can start his stuff. Arlen's spidey senses will tinkle. He'll face check the ward, but Robert's been waiting for him. All he has to force out the flash. He gets the stun. He lands the E on 2 targets, gets to save the cooldown, walks around the wall, being really greedy, uses the barrier to save the flash. What a god! Arlen Jaka, you monster! Knows what the god of restraint. Lily knows Robert's going inside. Oh no, we'll just barely miss him. Oh, Lily, look at the snipe, but won't get the first blood as bot lane. It was going so well. What happened? Oh no, he gets rooted. Leona will get taken down by the tower, and Elijah will get out alive. They don't have a ward the bush, and Miguel will level up, so they won't be able to turn into a second kill. But I didn't see what. Did you see what happened bot lane? I was watching Lily get the pick on Robert. They were so chunked out. I don't know what happened. They were really chunked out, right?
Yeah, they were chunked out.
Must have been a
Leo
stellar
just got
engage
a
from
good
Adrian.
stun. Yeah.
Yeah, modest CS lead, or decent CS lead in the mid lane. 16 CS up on the Vel'Koz. Still has the flash. God, that's what that's the way a man who's confident on his pick looks and plays. You know, he knows he can land the E. He knows he can walk around the wall. He knows Anivia and Vel'Koz like the back of his hand, and manages to get out. Burns almost nothing to get out. Really well played by Arlen. Go. Xayah hasn't reset yet. Lily might look to make a play on this, but will be backing by the turret. Nothing really will happen. They could turn this into Dragon, but if they try to turn it into Dragon, Xayah could walk towards it off reset. They don't have the priority, but Lily senses this, so she looks in the jungle for a pick. And Robert, crossing paths, she's got a level on him. Our Raptors, says Lily. She goes for the camp instead. 2 camps up, now 3 camps up on Robert, out clearing him by a decent amount. Oh, big, okay, they get the flash out of the Anivia.
Ooh.
Thank God Dixon didn't TP back the lane.
Chunked.
He just got back. He's gonna have to leave sometime soon. Some quick tacks on the mid wave. So far, though, only a 1k gold lead, 2-1 for GG. Definitely, the game's already a lot closer than last game. Nautilus zoned off of his own lane, not able to get through his own house. Hecarim and Lily in the top lane. Robert will be able to speed boost out, but won't get any damage trade on. Nivea TP's back to mid lane, and Lily takes spoils on his topside jungle. Ornn walks over, but he's got no mana and no armor. I doubt he is able to actually do anything about that situation. Lily gets the 6. Will upgrade her Q. Scans for top lane. Ornn thinks he's alone because he knows that Cho'Gath isn't in lane. But he will back off. Smart. Oh! No! Greed is good! Greed is good! Greed is life! He sees dollar signs. His eyes are going green. Ornn wants the last hits. Lily senses it. Lily goes in. He's got the flash. He'll E out. Maybe he won't need to use it. He flashes in the end. Lily pops her ult, but won't get much more than that. But that Ornn flash, that's a pretty big cooldown. He won't be able to dodge Cho'Gath Q if in like dire situations. Those kinds of things can take his lane. Very, very patient by Lily. Will adjust onto the Rift Herald, but Robert will be trading for the Dragon, which the red team has vision of. Vel'Koz walks over. They're probably going to try to threaten him. He's getting shot. He's only level 5. He doesn't have that much regen.
They walk in.
Adrian will just straight up ignite him. Oh no! This is so sad.
Oh.
Adrian walks in. Walks right into the frying pan. Vel'Koz will ult. The Nautilus will cancel his ult right before, but he will get the kill on Dixon. Elijah picks up a kill. Root onto the Vel'Koz. Elijah touches the Dragon. It's at 500 HP. These two split. There's too many things to do. Xayah ult E won't kill the
That's
Vel'Koz.
a
Dragon will
barrier.
become close to CC Redding. Barrier, both sums out of the mid laner. Xayah still has the heal, but isn't able to do anything. Lily pops a mid Herald for a distraction, and she goes back onto the Dragon. But Hecarim's clearing his Raptors. I think he gets 6 off of this. They could pull another maneuver because they have the pink ward. They know he's on it. Big chunk coming out of Elijah. Lily's really low. Hecarim's level 5. Oh my god. Now this has to blast the Dragon auto.
Oh,
Robert's
no.
running it down. Robert gets the auto. Is this onto the Xayah? Huge plays. What is happening?
It's certainly an
Non-stop
interesting
action
choice.
in the ball lane. Both teams dancing back and forth. The Dragon's still up. Both teams are they're just too tense. They don't know what to do. They're like prom dates shuffling around on the dance floor. They just don't know who's going first. And they will just back off entirely. Elijah still hasn't backed after getting like 3 ults on him over the duration of the last wow, okay. And he will finally back 2-0-1. Quite the reversal of fortune from the last game for the bot lane. Elijah really happy with the Xayah pick. Will be 30 CS up on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn has a kill and 2 assists, but it's not quite the formidable lead it was in the first game. Robert, good job following, with good work following up on the Kha'Zix. Will be able to prevent the Dragon and also get Lily subs in the meantime. The Herald, wait, the Herald didn't pop. The Herald just got popped and evaporated. I don't know who cleared it. I think Dixon just cleared it. I just realized, I was like, oh, at least Lily got the plates mid, but no, didn't happen either. Wow. Overall, a little bit of sloppy forward coming out of BCT, but nothing too game-changing. Still with a hearty 1k gold lead. Both teams still definitely with an eye for the next couple of objectives coming up. And Dragon still on the map with these late picks. Last game was taken at 11 minutes. Neither team are really close to it. Leona has some surrounding vision. Both teams just have tons of vision surrounding it, but none of them really seem too excited to make the first move. A lot of respect for each team's power spikes. Both ults are coming back off of cooldown. God, Vel'Koz mid-weave clear is so satisfying. Dixon neutralizes the CS lead. It was 16 at one point. It's only like 4 now. Oh, and Lily will be able to cinch the pick onto Robert. Orin gets a little ambitious, won't sense where it's at, and Cho'Gath gets a plate top too. Okay, very small plays being made on the side of BCT, but slowly accruing a more and more formidable lead, approaching that 2k mark. Nautilus chunked out, but Will is looking hesitant. Robert's walking bot. I think they might want to bait something out. Miguel has no mana, no sums. Still has the ignite. We'll just opt it back. His heart can't take it anymore.
And the Vel'Koz damage. Oh man.
Oh man, was that through egg?
And then Nivea goes down. No egg.
Okay, wow. Well played by Arland. Gets the flash and the kill.
Yeah. Arlen just knows both champions too well.
Both champs with incredible comfortability. This is a really unfortunate matchup for Dixon. Wow, that's a 40 CS lead in the top lane. That Cho'Gath damage, or the potential of the Cho'Gath damage, giving Arnett a lot of room to work with here in this top lane. Vel'Koz looking bot, trying to start some trouble, but Caitlyn's backing off. BCT has a lot of pressure around Dragon. They could opt for it. They're not quite clearing vision. They will be seen. They get some pings. Let's see if they start it up. Caitlyn has to back and they know it. This will be a 4v3 if they taking it now. Nautilus spots out Lily, but they're too quick. Hecarim gets it. Lord Paleskin flaunting a little bit. Xayah does not have ult. Oh, they opt for the engage. Lord Paleskin will just be taken down. No one was in position to follow up. Adrian plays with his food, looking for the real prize, which is Elijah, but Lily will finally finish off the Nautilus. But they do get the objective of this reform of the Dragon. Big Tree's coming up mid. Vel'Koz will. Oh. Caitlyn will. Oh! Dixon coming out of Dixon!
Oh, no.
Oh! Arlen's so low. Dixon doesn't have flash. He can't make anything happen. They don't have any long-term. They don't have any long distance abilities that can take him down. If Ornn was in the area, he could probably ult. Yeah, Arlen does have ult. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it says. I see. It was up, yeah. I think he was probably just worried about Robert. They had no vision of Robert. They know like that if he goes for that ult and Robert's like in the bush, he's dead.
Lily's looking for it. Ooh, and Lily's
Lily will get picked. Nautilus will pick up the
yeah.
kill, which I'm sure they're not thrilled about, but shutdown's a shutdown. Gold was gold. Some stabilization coming out of the blue team. Yeah.
Certainly
Lily
doesn't
loves
feel
game
that way.
threes. There you go. So Vel'Koz is 2-0-1. Cho'Gath has a bounty off of CS, which you never want to see. Gosh, that's crazy actually.
Yeah, actually,
Zaya's 2-0-1 and doesn't have a bounty. R.I.P. Ardent being jiffed by Mark Merrill for being good at last hitting. Here we go. Overall, relatively packed game. A lot of skirmishing, a lot of exchanges happening across the map. And the only objective that's really been secured has been the Ocean Drake for the side of GG, which I'm sure is breathing some life into their feelings about this game, especially after the claw break that was the first game. Definitely feeling a lot better about their odds going into this. Nautilus, ooh, will get faked out by Adrian. Was a good walk-up attempt, but Adrian's just got too, his anti-total is just too much. Sometimes the person goes left when they're supposed to go right. Hecarim waiting in the wings. Does have the ult up. Does not have the ghost though. Elijah will bait out a little bit, playing aggressive to see if they can bait an Leona engage. But Adrian's not taking it. Arlen gets another solo kill onto the Nivea in the mid lane. Wow, what a fucking pick. The Vel'Koz, he's only ever just had absolute game dominance on this pick. It is really insane just how comfortable he is on it and the impact he can have. Cho'Gath starting up the Herald. Lily's approaching to help him out, so they'll be able to secure this one. Might turn it into cracking open top or mid lane. Bot lane, huge engage. Xayah ult flash out. Oh, won't catch anyone with the root. Nautilus is 1v2ing. He's stuck in the Gladiator ring. Will ignite the Leona. Oh, won't end up getting either one of them. I think if he ignites the Caitlyn there, he gets it, but Caitlyn does have flash. Oh no! No!
And the Zhonya's comes out.
And the
oh my
Zhonya's.
gosh.
Oh, this is so sad. It was almost so good for GG. They saw the play, but it was just a little too late on the mark. The gold lead is beginning to once again bounce back in the favor of BCT, approaching 5K. Miguel's 2-0-2 with the bounty now. Arlen with a pretty substantial 350 gold bounty. Herald is being popped top. Juan has no mana. He can't really have that great of a response to this. Lily goes for the turret. We'll take a turret shot she didn't intend to, but the Eclipse Shield will compensate for it. Juan just has no way out. He doesn't have flash. We'll knock up and we'll dodge the Cho'Gath Q, but we'll get executed as Lily procs Conqueror. Unfortunate series of events, but potential silver lining on the horizon with Dragon spawning. GG could look to oh, Dixon will just get absolutely popped by the Hecarim, by the Kha'Zix. Gets peeled for by the Cho'Gath.
Oh.
Surely for being eaten. Brutal stuff. GG, not what you want to see. Try so hard for what? Oh my god. Oh my god, Connor's toxic. Okay. So, oh, being engaged by the blue team, but they're getting collapsed on by Leona Vel'Koz. Caitlyn has no real way out. Xayah has no ult though. She's just a Perma CC. There's nothing to do. Nautilus will shortly fall after, and Dragon's just looking like a free pickup. Wow, when did this game get out of control? Went from 4-7 to 4-15. 8 straight kills picked up by BCT, regaining their rhythm that they demonstrated in the first game. Really big swings coming out of their jungle and the mid lane. Really good plays all around, though.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Arlen decided to upgrade his Dark Seal into a Magi's with those 10 stacks.
If there was a player character combination that earned the ability to upgrade a Magi's, it is Arlen on the Milkaz. It is such a solid pick. There's so much for the team.
Oh, and he does. He gets the Magi's.
Cops the Magi's, gives him the move speed too. Adrian will be getting chunked up by the Navy, but will dance around the wall. Man, these guys know the wall mechanics well. But Cho'Gath walking in, he's not very welcome though. Will get chunked out without really accomplishing much, but we'll definitely give VC. Oh, big Ornal coming out. Will not hit onto anyone. Lily invises out, and red team just disengages. Good attempt from Golden Gamers, but just not really in sync in the way they needed it to be. They end up getting no one. Looks like he's opting for the next item. Arlen's going for the, what's it called, the focus shot or something?
Horizon Focus?
Horizon Focus, yeah, Horizon Focus. Which is just gonna increase his output by a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Elijah, they're looking to kind of go on him in the bot lane, but he does have the ult. We'll dodge out the Leona E. Lily going straight on the Nautilus. He'll miss the hook onto the wall to safety. They'll just commit everything onto the Nautilus, but he's a tanky boy. Gets the ult onto the Caitlyn. Ward gets a double knockup. Nivea's on the way, doesn't have the flash to get in, but they will get started up. Elijah won't get a root onto anyone, but they're still continuing to chase. To slow up the Kazakhs will secure the escape, though, from the red team. As Booty counts losses. Elijah potentially goes in for the really, really aggressive ult, but it won't result in. Oh no. Adrian goes back in, but he has no mana. Caitlyn with the point blank ult. Hecarim's in their backline. Caitlyn's red smited, but he kites out too much. The damage is too much. Adrian gets out with the Leandri's burn not ticking down. They don't get anyone. Really, really good coordination coming out of BCT. They really play these team fights so perfectly.
Kiting the Gale Force to try to get out of the Xayah ult. That was very well played,
mid tower too. Definitely not what you want to see. Now has an even bigger CS lead than or not bigger lead, but he has more CS than Cho'Gath. Just like clearing mid and top waves. He's picking up so much farm on this pick. Miguel will get a pick onto the Anivia. There you go. No objectives on the map for a short while though. So, Baron just spawned about a minute ago. But red team doesn't seem interested at all in playing on the top side of the map. They just want to keep catching them in the bot side. They just keep doing the same thing. But it keeps working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They have just absolute dominance of this bot side jungle. If I'm Golden Guardians, I am not. You just can't walk on the right side of the map for the next 3 minutes. This is nothing to do about that. Looks like Orin will be clearing the way of bot. Does not have the TP to respond for Baron, so if BCT was tracking that cooldown, big chunk. Lily goes straight from Eclipse into Black Cleaver. This is not your mama's Kazakhs. This is tank shredder Kazakhs. This is Kazakhs that can 1v1 an Ornn, a Hecarim, and a Nautilus.
I mean, that's kind of what she needs to do. Yeah.
Ornn will be able to pick up a constellation turret in the bot lane, but red team seems to be prepping pretty intensely for Dragon.
For Baron.
For Baron, yeah. There you go. Lily and Caitlyn on it, but they're just saying hello for a quick second. Lily will get chunked a little bit, but we'll go back to clearing vision. The pressure is just too much. Ornn commits to the split push. He doesn't have TP. I don't think they can contest without the Ornn ultimate. It's too big. They're just going to concede, it looks like. Maybe go for a constellation set up for Dragon, but they will approach. Robert might be looking for the steal, but Baron's it's going down relatively slowly. He has the ult. He has the vision of it. He has the blast cone. Will he be able to pull it off? Robert's stolen these before. Oh, but the Cho'Gath E is
Unfortunately,
too
it's
strong.
not enough. Yep.
Vel'Koz obliterates the backline. Orin's way too late to walk there. Doesn't get the bot turret and isn't in range of time to ult. They get the Baron. They get 4. This is catastrophic for Golden State. And now we're back on pace from last game. Over 10k gold lead at 20 minutes. BCT, they're just such a dangerous team when it comes to advantages. Orin will attempt to clear the wave. We'll get the knockup onto the Caitlyn, but Caitlyn's unfazed. Caitlyn's here for business. Here we go. Caitlyn's a GameStop investor. Here we go. Diamond hands. Let's see. Yeah, they're Ardent's pressuring top wave. The Baron's too formidable. Tower will be taken down. Dixon's he's a little out there. Oh no, he's just so depressed. That is what a depressed bird looks like. Oh no. Miguel will be cutting out. Robert walks onto the trap. Kiting like a god. The breath of the god will get him. Arlen's really low. He'll flash the knockup, and Baron minions will continue to chunk the Orin, but Orin might be able to get this pick, but not for nothing as the top lane inhibitor is being broken into. Lily flashes her style points. Malabute's on a rampage, 4-0 and 4. And Orin got taken down at some point. I didn't even watch that.
Yeah,
Elijah's up.
Vel'Koz ulted him when he walked a little too far away.
25 stacks with the Horizon Focus, already doing 800 damage. Going for the Zhonya's. This is just really, really crazy momentum. 2 inhibs coming out of the team. Oh, Leona will get the flash. Oh, Robert will get hit by the knockup, potentially securing the gate. Will ult. They really need just anything. And Leona will get tickled down. Dixon will flash for posterity's sake, and they'll increase their kills by 50%. Yeah, BCT, they're really they're really, if there's a, oh wait, Nautilus ult onto the Kha'Zix. Vel'Koz will try to peel, but Kha'Zix just gets the kill. Kha'Zix doesn't care. It's just too much health, too much lifesteal. Crazy stuff coming out of Lily. Nivea teleports to the bot lane. The Baron's expired, so they won't have as dangerous a push as they did before, but Nivea will get melted. Oh my god. Cho'Gath! Gargoyle's so late. He doesn't care. The tower is tickling his feet. There's nothing to do. Wordle will apply Brittle onto the Cho'Gath, but they won't really be able to get much. Big Root coming out of Elijah, but the damage just isn't enough. They're too tanky, and they have too much regen, and they did too much damage.
Yeah.
Here we go. They'll continue the siege onto the last inhib. Ardent still very healthy, still very okay with his position. Adrian just walking into a bar brawl. Will walk away unscathed because the pressure of his team is too great. As they have to also deal with the cascade of minions. I mean, Elijah will wave clear with a nice E, but Caitlyn's free hitting onto the tower. This is just too close. They're gonna have to make something happen. If they're gonna make something happen, they have to start now. Adrian's ult is gonna blitz down Elijah. They're getting whittled down bit by bit by the Vel'Koz. One big ult to finish it off. Can he end it with the triple kill? He gets a knockup. Vel'Koz with a triple kill. 25 stacks on the Magi's. Insane performance by Arland. 2 solo kills. Adrian has to study. No time for this.
Oh no. Yeah.
They waste no time. 28 minutes after a 25-minute game. Relatively quick cleanups. Excellent performances coming out of BCT. Really monstrous control of their leads.
Alright, give us a sec, folks. We'll be back soon. And we are back, folks. Stu.
Give
Oh
me-
no, Dario, would you like to do the honors?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to your Blue Core Tortilla player of the game, Arlen Jaka, on the Vel'Koz and the Anivia. Welcome in, Arlen. How are you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
You're looking pretty good, man. That was some hot stuff. Tell me, what were you thinking when you picked up the Magi's? Were you like, is this the beginning of the end, or were you like, oh, we're just getting ready?
I picked up the Mages when I had 10 stacks on the Dark Seal already. I was just thinking, there's no way I die. I came close that one time when they hit me with the I think Anivia stun and the Nautilus hook. That kind of had me clenching a little bit, but other than that, I was smooth sailing.
No, tons of clenching moments, tons of close calls.
Mhm.
I remember there was one gank early on where Dixon got a wall, and any other player, maybe I'm speaking for myself, would have just flashed over the wall just to secure it. But you just like
Barely
bucked up,
even walked
barely even
around.
walked
I-
around. You just strolled through the park. What was
I
going through your head
really-
when you were doing that?
I really greeted for that. I kind of felt like I could potentially pull the play around, right? So I didn't want to flash right away because I saw he was taking the turret shots. But,
Yeah.
it kind of came really close. And if I got hit by that Navy Q, it would have been over. So
Yeah.
the flash is
And
the
you had
smart
you had
play,
the clutch
but yeah.
E.
Yeah.
You had the clutch E that hit both of them. That was pretty crazy. That play
Mhm.
doesn't happen without that landing. Was that just a very comfortable? Because the Anivia and the Vel'Koz, those two characters you know very well. Do you just feel very comfortable in both games?
Yeah. I'm playing them a lot recently, practicing them a whole bunch. So,
Yeah, two trick.
you know,
Yeah, do you feel like playing Anivia has given you insight into playing against the Anivia? Because you got a couple of solo kills. That's pretty hard to solo kill an Anivia. It's a pretty safe
Yeah.
pick usually. So I'm guessing you probably know how to maneuver around that.
yeah, as long as if the Anivia misses the stun, it's pretty easy to just start walking around her. Her stun is her main source of guaranteed damage.
Yeah, just generally speaking, though, you guys, BCT has excellent team fight chemistry. It feels like cooldowns are always being used when they're needed most, and it's you guys are really good at synchronously using your stuff together. Is that team synergy just kind of inherent? Have you guys been working towards that? Is there any general
We've been,
methodology for it, or
We've been playing a lot of scrims, so I feel like we're actually really comfortable with each other's play styles. We complement each other very well. Whenever someone needs help, we're already there. We don't really need to communicate where people need to be because we just play really well off each other.
Yeah, and it shows. Excellent, massive gold leads in both games. Really well played. Thank you so much for joining us, Arland. You
Thank you
are
guys for having me.
You are this series' Blue Corn Tortilla Chips player of the game.
Would
What
you
say, Connor?
Would you like to say anything to your friends or family back at home?
Oh right, yeah.
I need that Larkin body pillow. I need it. That's all I'd like to say.
Yeah, and the last thing we have for you is let's see here. Your next series will be against GME, either next week or the week after. How are you feeling going into that?
Which one's GME? Is that Justin's team?
That is, yes, Justin's team.
Justin's team, yeah.
I think with the way we're practicing, we should be a good fit for that game.
All right. Well,
You
thank
guys
you.
seem like
guys.
stellar shape tonight. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, get him out of
All
here.
right.
All
Get him
right,
outta here.
that's gonna be it from us, folks. Casters, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Ban the Vel'Koz, people. Just do it.
And the
Just ban the
Anivia.
Vel'Koz. Ban the Vel'Koz. No, it's just the Vel'Koz. Just ban it, people.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
I
that's
also
all I have
forgot
to
to
say.
say Arlen just got a crap ton of channel points.
Or channel points? That's amazing.
Yeah, he kind of just hit the jackpot on channel points.
So it's just wins all around tonight.
Yeah.
It's a good night for the Jaka household.
All right, thanks for it, folks. Thank you everyone for
And thanks for
subbing.
tuning in, everyone.
Yeah,
course.
Justin, Adrian for the gifted subs. We appreciate the work, and it will all be spent wisely on Larkin body
Justin.
pillows.
Thank you so much, Justin, for the sub. I didn't realize. How do I get notifications for that? Are you just gonna tell me that
Yeah,
happens?
you have to be me.
I have to be you. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for subbing, guys.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Wait, hold on. When is our next game? That
Isn't
would
that Sunday?
be.
Or-
There is a game on Sunday, which is Permanent Team 3 versus GME. That will be your last game of this week.
Nice.
With Adam subbing in for Daria.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that from the sidelines.
All right.
Well, tune in on Sundays.
Sunday Night League.
Yep. Sunday Night League.